Welcome to the SVG-TV news for Thursday, March 23rd. I'm Khalil Kato with the details. St. Vincent and the Grenadines has been named among 4 CARICOM countries that have joined a brief filed by Mexico in the United States Court of Appeal in the First Circuit in support of a $10 billion suit to hold U.S. gun manufacturers liable for the harm caused by their products. SVG has been joined by the Bahamas, Antigua and Barbuda, and Trinidad and Tobago, as well as the Latin American and Caribbean Network for Human Security, CELAC, in a network of non-governmental organizations and affiliated professionals specializing in international humanitarian law and seeking disarmament in the Latin American and Caribbean regions. According to CMC News, the named defendants in the U.S. in the suit include 7 major gun manufacturers and 1 wholesaler and distributor. In the court brief, the countries claim that unlawful trafficking of American firearms must be curtailed at its source, the U.S. gun industry, noting that the gun manufacturers and distributors from a single nation must not be permitted to hold hostage the law-abiding citizens of an entire region of the world. The statement notes that the brief argues that U.S. gun industry practices, including the bulk sales of guns to dealers who are known to engage in practices correlated with illegal weapons smuggling, have caused significant harm to the countries of Latin America and the Caribbean region. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves is out of state to attend several high-level meetings. The first meeting was held yesterday in Grenada of the Regional Security System RSS Council of Ministers. Calling in on Star Radio from Grenada today, Prime Minister Gonsalves said the meeting was a very good one, in which they coordinated security across the region, and that he will be leaving Grenada for another meeting in the Dominican Republic and returns to SVG on Saturday.
You know that the RSS consists of the OECS territories, independent and territories of the OECS, plus Barbados and Guyana joined recently. So that makes it a stronger RSS. It also makes the contribution from the RSS, from the RSS, spread even more, because Guyana is there to add additional resources now. So that's what I came here for. I'm leaving this afternoon for the Dominican Republic by way of Miami. It's going to be a long day because I arrive in the Dominican Republic after midnight tonight.
Okay.
And I have a meeting here on Friday. I'll be back on Saturday.
Yes. In
time for the rally. The meeting in Guyana, in the Dominican Republic, is the Ibero-American Summit. I was invited there as the president pro tempore of CELAC.
Okay. In relation to the crime situation in neighboring St. Lucia, Prime Minister Gonsalves said he does not want the situation there to spill over into the northwest or northeast of St. Vincent, and security forces here are stepping up surveillance by land and sea to ensure the criminals do not come to SVG, which is lending assistance to St. Lucia with security personnel. Meanwhile, PM Gonsalves said the government's legal team is awaiting a response from the High Court as to a date and time to hear the application for a stay of execution on the judgment in the ruling of the vaccine mandate case until the matter has gone through the Court of Appeal.
But I want to see this thing come to an end. I want to heal it. But the healing can only be on the basis of sound judgment and clarity as to how we go forward in respect of pandemics for the future. And there will be many pandemics in the future. All the scientists indicate that. We want to know what the government can do and can't do. If what we have done, which is so reasonable and proportionate, one judge says, so you are not reasonable and proportionate. Well, I'm completely flabbergasted. So we need clarity. So too sensible people all the world over, especially in the region and in our country. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, Prime Minister.
You can't allow a pandemic just to return to the people. What we did was proportionate in the sense of being reasonably required for the protection of the interests of the people through public health measures at the time of a pandemic. And what we did was reasonable, justifiable in a democratic society. Because if what we did...
Meanwhile, President of the SVG Teachers Union, Oswald Robinson, said the union's approach has always been holistic and centered around the needs of its members, and this was highlighted during the volcanic eruption. Robinson was a guest on the OMG morning program on Boom 106.9 today, discussing the recent High Court ruling in the vaccine mandate case and the actions taken by the unions to get the government to reverse its decision in taking the matter to the appeal court.
There are some people who think that the union is only about like a lobby organization, like a pressure group. But it's far more than that. Our approach has always been holistic, centering on the needs of our members, and at the same time we give consideration to the wider community, because you have to operate within a society. What happens within an organization has an impact with the society, and sometimes the society will try to influence certain things that the organization may or may not want to do. So it's important that we look at that, because coming out from the volcanic eruption, we had to respond very quickly. Yeah, we had to respond in fact, we responded even before the state to our members. Because,
how so?
Yes, we have our branches out there, we have our structures out there. Our communication channels are very robust.
Right.
So we use different platforms to reach our members. And we mobilize resources from ourselves within the Caribbean Union of Teachers. And we were able to respond in a very positive way to reach where our brothers and sisters were displaced in the red zone, North Windward and North Leeward. You're talking about over 300 teachers. You have to respond and provide foodstuff, and as the list goes on, we have to provide other support for them, monetary, We also mobilize support and we provide stationery for them. Even for the children in some of these schools, we reach out in a very positive way. And, it's a good feeling that you could respond based on humanitarianism. It's good.
Robinson said he is satisfied that they continue to do their best to meet the needs of their members, even in difficult times. And while some people might not appreciate their efforts, it is important to always maintain a level head and to remain focused.
All the workers who are there with us,
Yes.
I remember on one occasion, just after the people were returning home, I had to drive to Georgetown.
Oh.
The ash was still around, and when the wind blows, you see like a tornado, And to reach out, you provided mattresses and water, and, much needed things for. And the teachers were very happy. In one occasion, there was a principal who said, "Thank God for my union."
Wow.
There was a particular case where a teacher who was displaced from North Leeward came and living in the South Leeward area. And he said to us, he has filled out all kind of forms from different agencies. I'm not going to call any names now because I don't want to offend anybody. And it's only the teachers union that found him and responded to him on many occasions. And it was good to serve, because people ask you to serve, and you have to try your best. Yes. Always try to maintain a level head, to be focused. It's not everybody may appreciate what you do.
Yes.
Because everything you do, it also has a spiritual context, in the sense that Jesus, he healed 9 lepers. The question is how many return to say thanks. You would also find persons who, no matter how much you help them,
yes,
they also may be among those who may try to cut you down. So I am matured enough to understand and know this, but still to serve without
yes,
any malice, and to try my best with the executive and other structures of the organization to ensure that we continue to represent
yes,
our interests, the interests of education also, and also as a worker organization to ensure that we look out for workers in St. Vincent and Grenz, because we have to also give a voice for those who appear not to have a voice.
Yes.
Yes.
The Oya Arut factory, which was damaged by heavy ash fall from the volcanic eruption and Hurricane Elsa in 2021, will be transformed into a tourist attraction with a new Arut factory being built at Orange Hill. This is according to Minister of Agriculture Saboto Caesar, who was responding to a question in Parliament on Tuesday from opposition Senator Chevron John on whether there are any plans in place to renovate the Oya Arut factory.
Answering part A, we will not be renovating the factory for our root production. But I had a conversation and several technicians between the Ministry of Agriculture will be working with persons who do product development in the Ministry of Tourism to see how we can come up with a proposal to create that site as a tourist attraction site, whereby persons who are going on that side of the island, they can stop there and have it before going down to Oya Salpan. They could go there and have a guided tour. No, it is not going to be the size that it is now, because we'd have to remove the structure that's there, because you can't bring the tourists there in an environment that they could be injured. But we have identified different pieces of some of the machines that we will be able to secure and have it as a mini demonstration, so persons can come there and see. It's part of the protection of our heritage. We did not do that for any other Arut factory. And 20 years from now, we want to assure the young ones, instead of having to read it in a book, they can go to the site where we had the Arut factory at Oya. So we are very early days in putting the plans together and the framework. It has the full support of the Ministry of Tourism, has the support of the Ministry of Agriculture. We are going to work with different persons in the community because they have a lot of institutional knowledge.
Police officers are not perfect. They are human beings just like everyone else. That's according to the head of the Police Public Relations and Complaints Department, Assistant Superintendent of Police, Junior Simmons, who, on a radio program on WeFM today, said police officers would make mistakes at times, but they are only human, and disciplinary action is often taken against those who breach the rules and regulations of the organization.
Would be over exuberant at times. It's not something that we're asking people to condone, but I'm just saying that we're humans and that would happen at times. Mm-hmm. Now, the Police Act gives the Commissioner of Police several options in terms of dealing with a police officer who would have breached the rules and regulations. You can be charged on several counts. You can be charged for neglect of duty, dereliction of duty, abuse of power, insultive language, cowardice. But what I want to say is this. The maximum fine for any police officer on a single charge that they are found guilty or they were convicted on and found guilty internally is $250. So for example, if you receive let's say about six charges, and you were found guilty, on all counts, then you have to do the math on that. You can be, that's the maximum. It's not that the presiding officer would recommend that, but that's the maximum. And as a matter of fact, let's say if the presiding officer decides that they're going to charge you or fine you $100 on each count, the Commissioner of Police has the final say. He can increase it, or he can also decrease it as well. So the police regulations and the Act, it is there to guide police officers on how to conduct themselves properly, professionally, when executing their duties to protect themselves in the public.
ASP Simmons says it is the duty of police officers to serve, and those who fail to comply with the law and conduct themselves inappropriately will face the consequences of their actions.
We are police officers. We are peace officers. We protect and serve the public, and we are not above the law. We are not above the law. We are subjected to the law like everybody else. Yes, we enforce the law. The law gives us tremendous powers and authority, but we have to do so in accordance with the law. And just like how any other citizen would fall short or breach the law, and they are made to pay for it, police officers can also suffer the same fate as well. If you do not conduct your duty in accordance with the law, then that same law can be used against you. And we are trained as police officers to always be professional, courteous, disproportionate, and impartial when it comes to executing our duties. That is something that the Commissioner of Police and others in the police force, the senior officers, the supervisors, would drill into their subordinates on a daily basis at the police training school. So it's left up to the police officer, the individual, on the given day and time when they're executing the duty, to remember what they were taught, what they learned, and what the law says. How much force you're allowed to use. Because you have to realize as well that the law is for everybody, including you.
Okay.
In regards to complaints against police officers, ASP Simmons says these can be made in person at the Police Complaints Department or to the Police Oversight Committee.
Right, so it's very straightforward, and we encourage the public to, once you have a grievance and it is legitimate, to file a complaint against a police officer or police officers who you have a grievance with. Now, in making a complaint, you first and foremost are encouraged to visit the office at Central Police Station in person, because over time we'll have people come into the office to make a complaint on behalf of a relative or friend. But once that complainant is an adult, they are encouraged to visit the office to make the complaint in person, or you can call the department. Our telephone number is 485-6891, 485-6891. Or you can send us an email. And we are living currently in the age of social media, Crystal. So you can also send us a message on our Facebook page and our other social media pages, WhatsApp, and we would entertain that complaint. And naturally, if you use those mediums, email and social media, at some point you'd have to come in, so that we can have interaction with you and record a statement if necessary.
Okay.
But also, as the complainant, you're also given the option of writing your own statements as well.
Okay.
The St. Vincent and the Grenadines Cadet Force held a National Service Medal ceremony on Saturday at the UWI Open Campus. The cadets were awarded medals for selfless national service during the eruptions of La Soufrière in 2021. The ceremony was attended by Governor General, Her Excellency Dame Susan Duggan, Member of Parliament Major Sinclair Leacock, Past Commandant Lieutenant Colonel Dwight Lewis, Commissioner of Police Colin John, Pastor of the New Testament Church of God at Wilson Hill, and District Overseer for the Kingstown District, among others. The St. Vincent and the Grenadines Consulate in New York will be providing a temporary satellite office to extend its services to Vincentians living in Brooklyn. According to a release from the Agency for Public Information, API, Consul General Rondi McIntosh said the aim is to reach those Vincentians who are unable to access the consulate's services simply because of their busy schedule or working hours. The satellite office services will be opened this Saturday at the Friends of Crown Heights Educational Center from 3 p.m. Among the services being offered are passport renewals, birth and marriage certificate applications, immigration consultations, as well as a health fair session. The Consul General indicated that there are plans to have this set up 2 to 3 times per year in Brooklyn, as well as extend it to other cities in the United States with a significant Vincentian population. McIntosh said provisions are also being made to have a number of local institutions, notably the National Insurance Services, NIS, to meet with the people of the diaspora to explain what packages are available to them. Brooklyn, New York is estimated to have the largest number of Vincentians outside of SVG.